Hello everybody, and a very warm welcome to this event. This is Shanu, leader at Lean in CWL, joining in from Jaipur, India. And this is our first event of this year. And we are very excited to bring you this event, which is on how the creative women has lost their feminine energy. So, yeah, about Lean in CWL, we are a global network of 1,000 plus women with 41 circles running currently. And we come together from diverse backgrounds to unleash our best version. We provide resources via webinars, blog posts, sponsorship, leadership invoking creativity, personal development, and inspiration. We provide safe space to lots of women to discuss and open up about their hesitations and limitations and work with them to foster a friendly and supportive environment. We value diversity, flexibility, independence, and enthusiasm, and are willing to experiment and innovate. Also, we very much try to give the platform as much as possible to our members to explore themselves, to showcase their leadership style. And yeah, so whenever you feel like presenting something, do contact us. Now, in this session, we will be covering some very real and relevant topics on how powerful women have lost some of their balance as feminine creatures, and we will learn what to watch for and how to shift into a more balanced women with our business and ourselves. And now I am really excited to introduce you all to Cara, who will be taking forward this session. So, Cara is a feminine energy business coach and the creator of the Head to Heart method. Cara is the host and the creator of She's the Owner podcast and Cara McCarron coaching and lifestyle brand, a brand that focuses on helping strong women to find balance in their masculine and feminine energy within. She is also the co founder and CEO of the content company based in Toronto, Canada, a company she launched in 2014 with her partner Ken. She is a proud mother of four incredible young women, and she has spent the last 20 years of her life discovering who she is and why she was put here on this earth. She is also an active member of Tony Robbins community and has a mission to send 1,000 women to unleash their power event with Tony. After all that self reflection and searching, she feels deep in her bones that she is here to teach people to lead with their hearts and not with their heads. Being a mission driven entrepreneur is one of the most incredibly fulfilling journeys of her life. And I am very glad to have her as our host for the evening. So thank you so much, Cara, and over to you.
Thank you. That was, thank you for that beautiful introduction, Shanu. I appreciate that. So we have a small group, so we're going to get really close, let's say. So get ready. You're going to be sharing with one another. So I just want to put that out there that just to get comfortable, this is a really safe space. No one's going to tell anybody what we've talked about. This is just for us. As your group is very safe already, I just want to remind you that everything that we share here is confidential. And I just really want you to open up. I don't want to just be standing here talking. That's not how we learn. So to that, we're going to do a little gratitude exercise, and just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear, or just throw in the chat that sound is good. Yep, beautiful. Okay. So I want everybody to close their eyes, put your hands on your heart, and I'm going to play some music. So if it's a bit loud, just turn the volume down on your computers. It's easier that way than me trying to control the sound over here. And I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to play a song for a couple of minutes. And I'm going to just talk you through a little bit of a gratitude exercise. So it's very simple. It's taking 5 deep breaths in, holding it at the top for 5 seconds, and then letting it go through your mouth for 5 seconds. We're going to do that 5 times. Just to get you comfortable. And then I just want you to start thinking about some things, 3 things that you're really grateful for today. And then we'll start. So let me just share my screen. You can all start taking those deep breaths now. Just again, give me thumbs up if you can hear. Deep breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 5. Okay, deep breath in for 5. Hold it. Deep breath in for 5. Okay, 2 more times. Deep breath in for 5. And last time. And I just want you to think about 3 things that you're grateful for. Could be anything. Could be the time that we're together right now. Just feel it in your heart. And picture that moment like it's happening right now. Maybe it's your kids. Think of a second thing that you're grateful for. Maybe it's the fact that there's no snow where you are. Think of a third thing you're grateful for. It could be big, it could be small, it could be your coffee you had this morning, it could be the house you live in, anything that brings you gratitude in this moment. Okay, welcome back, everybody. How was that? So I just want you to give your body a little bit of a shake. Shake your hands out. Take a nice deep breath. And is everybody feeling grateful right now? Yes? Good. I almost started crying. I cry all the time when I do that exercise. So instead of going right into the slides, I'm going to just do a quick video since we're already sharing in this way, and then we can get that video out of the way, ladies. You know what I'm referring to. So let's go here.
Hey, hi, Cara. We cannot see the video if you are sharing something.
Okay. I'm bopping away here to the music and you guys can't hear it. So give me 1 second.
We can hear the music, but we cannot see.
Okay. Well, it's not good if we can't see it too, right? Okay, can you see that now?
Yes, it is visible.
Awesome. And can you hear it?
No.
Interesting. Okay, so we're not going to watch the video. I'll put it in the chat for everybody. So because it's a good little video to give you a sense of whether or not you're in your masculine. So let me just throw it in the chat for you here. All right. Technical difficulties. There you go. All right, so let's just get into it. So really, it's just a quick video to kind of give you some bullet points as to whether or not you're in your masculine. And any of the women who can put themselves on camera, I would really appreciate it. It really helps the speaker when you can see hands going up and just interaction. So I know that you're hearing. I'm not going to be able to check the chats because I'll be in a full other screen. So just, yeah, it would be helpful to me if you were able to do that. Okay. All right, so. And Nancy or Shanu, can you just give me a verbal thumbs up that you can see?
Yeah, we can.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Okay, so as Shanu said, my name is Cara McCarron. I'm the creator and the creator of the Head to Heart method of coaching. So that's a pretty new development this year. For me, I been in business for a really long time, and I came to realize that I was in my masculine. And what that looked like for me was doing a business that I was good at, but I didn't necessarily love. And I love what we do and how we do it. Just gonna pop myself here for 1 second, ladies. But I wasn't in love with, you know, the entire every day. It started to get pretty monotonous. I'm a podcast host. I started the She's the Owner podcast about 2 years ago now. And really, it was designed to talk to women, business owners, who felt that they had an imbalance as well of masculine and feminine energy. And the trick with that is that most women don't know that that's what's going on. They think a whole host of other things. We'll get into that in a minute. Proud mom of 4 daughters. I have a 33-year-old stepdaughter and then a 24-year-old, 19 and 11-year-old, all girls. 2 of them are entrepreneurs. The third, the youngest, will be as well. I know she will be. I'm a passionate life and business coach. I am part of the Tony Robbins community. I've gone to 18 events and counting. A lot of those events are crewing, and not just me participating. And crewing is just a fancy word for volunteering. I'm definitely a mission-driven entrepreneur. My mission is to help women who are also mission-driven entrepreneurs. I'm not interested in, and I frankly, I don't know how to work with women who are just in it for the money. And if you're creative, there's a good chance you're not in it just for the money, because creative work is challenging sometimes. I'm an ex-masculine energy junkie. So again, I really learned the hard way. Masculine energy wasn't serving me. And I'm a passionate goddess. So let's get here. Okay. And we can't see that slide, unfortunately. Oh, no, let's just forget the slide already. Next. So you may be in your masculine if one of the following things is true. And again, put your hands up if any of this is ringing true for you. And I find the thing that's really cool is that you guys are all over the world. We have different cultures all over this entire call. And I think it's really interesting because culturally, we're all starting to notice the same thing. So if you feel like you're always in charge, if that's something that you know, and it's not that you want to be in charge, it's that you feel like you have to be in charge. That's one of the biggest kind of ideas of when you can start to see, oh, I'm actually in my masculine. But we think of it as responsible. We think of it as we have to. We think of it as this is what we're supposed to do, but we're not supposed to be in charge all of the time. If you don't know how to slow down, that's a huge one. I mean, oftentimes, at least for sure in North American culture, there's a badge of honor. The busier you are, the better you are. Like it's some type of competition, right? Like between women. Oh yeah, I have to take my kid to soccer practice. And obviously during COVID, it's very different. But in a normal situation, it's I have to take my kid to soccer practice. I have to take the kids to this. I have to make the dinner. I have to clean the house. I have to blah, 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 blah. And we don't ask for help. And then we get resentful. Oh, we've got somebody unmuted. So if you're married, how many ladies are, again, I can't see many of the faces, but if you're married, throw it in the chat. it could show up as a lack of intimacy or an interest in intimacy with your partner. And that's very serious in a marriage. If you're not intimate with your partner, then you're basically friends, right? And a lot of times women, oh, he wants to make love, or he wants this, or he wants that, and we're not interested. We're not interested because we're definitely, that could be, it's not guaranteed. That might not be the only reason, but definitely it can show up in that way where the woman just doesn't have any interest in being intimate with their partner. You might say things like, why am I the only one doing anything around here? Right? Why am I the only one cooking? Why am I the only one doing dishes? And you may not even say it out loud. It might just be conversation inside your head, but you definitely are saying phrases like that. Why am I the only person that does anything around here? You might be short with your kids. So for me, that's really when all of this began. I started to talk to my kids like they were my employees. And I noticed that I wasn't mean or anything. I think I'm a nice boss, but I was talking to them like this. Okay, let's go. Come on, just get it out. I need to know what you need. Come on, tell mommy right now. Let's go. And I had no patience, zero. You don't know how to relax. You're always in go mode, right? This is the biggest telltale sign of masculine energy in a woman, is like, we don't know how to chill out. We don't know how to rest. We just have to go, go, go constantly. And you may be productive, but you're missing the element of fulfillment. And that was me. Like, I was very productive in my other company, in the content company, really productive. I was having sales calls, I was growing the business, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. In my heart, in my soul, I wasn't feeling that sense of fulfillment. And that's when I started to realize there's something I need to look at here. Just give me a second here. So what is feminine energy? Actually, here, let me just. So feminine energy is the flow of energy, the energy that is needed for creation and for clarity on what you want out of this life. It's the draw in energy versus the force energy. And I have 7 words that I use to describe it. But really, if you think about women, we're and people don't like this word. Not people don't like this word, but some people have an issue with this word of surrender. But that's sort of what it is. It's like, if we surrender to our goddess status, okay, doesn't mean we surrender to men and have men boss us around and do all the things. It just means that we surrender to what we need, what's in our hearts, what's in our bodies, all of those things. But the feminine energy is really about creation. It's about having patience. It's about nurturing. When you're in the masculine, it's about hunting, right? Like, the really simple way to look at that is hunter versus gatherer. The gatherer, that's what we do. We're there to gather. We gather the fruit, we gather the children, we gather. But in hunter mode, you're out there, you're quiet, you're not communicating, because if you communicate, you could die, right? In caveman days and hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, if you were out and you needed to kill a lion to bring home for the family to eat, or whatever the animal is, you had to be quiet. So traditionally, in our hunter mode, we're not talking to one another. We're not sharing. We're not opening up. And the energy gets very, very closed off. But in the feminine energy, it's the opposite, right? And so there's a term called the Meadow Report. So when women go out into the, back in days when villages were more common than they are now, but let's say you'd go out as a group of women and you'd go and you'd hunt and you'd pick the berries and you do the thing. When you came back, if I didn't tell Shanu exactly what berries were safe, where the berries were, how many berries were in that area, if I didn't give her every single detail about the berries, she could pick the wrong berries, bring them back to the tribe and kill the tribe. Like, that's literally what could happen. So women talk. You notice if a woman talks, we give every a guy will say, I went to the party last night. A girl will say, oh my God, I saw Shanu. She was wearing this amazing top. And like, she had this little pink bow on the side of it and her hair looks so, we go on and on and on and on, because that's our Meadow Report. For us, we think it's important to give this information in that level of detail. But in the masculine, it's like, we went to a party last night. Done. Right? So it's very, very different. But the energy of a woman is like, if you picture your body, right? And I'm moving my body right now, right? That's energy. That's feminine energy. I'm not doing it for anybody else. There's no man in the vicinity. I'm just moving my body. And that's a big one. That's a big element of feminine energy, is moving your body. But in the hunter mode, I'm power stance and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get it done. Okay. So 7 traits of feminine energy. So I mentioned this in the slide before. So patience, massive one. How many are moms in this group? Just throw a hand up. Do I have any moms here? No. Well, this will be something you might, oh, I've got some hands up. Okay. So you'll want to pay close attention to this as a mother, because patience is the biggest thing that really, I think, as a parent, as a mom, was the thing that I was really struggling with in the beginning. I had no patience. Can we just, Nancy, can I get you to mute whoever's unmuted? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Oh, I don't think we're quite muted. Okay. So patience was a big deal, right? Like I didn't have any of it for anything. It wasn't just even like for myself, I had no patience, but I had no patience for anybody. Nurturing, that's a huge one. Same thing in the parenthood. And again, that's where I really started to realize, okay, something was not, I wasn't feeling good. I was always like, ugh. But nurturing, I wasn't nurturing myself. I wasn't nurturing my friends. I wasn't nurturing my children or family. I was just all about getting shit done. That was it. There's no other option for me. It was just go, go, go. Vulnerability. Excuse me. This is a huge one. And part of why I have everybody get on camera so that they can, together, we can practice this vulnerability. Vulnerability is one of those things that I think is, I think it's a practiced trait. At least it is now. Like, I don't think we're conditioned, especially as women, to not show vulnerability, right? Especially professional women, women in leadership. There is no room to feel vulnerable, because if you're vulnerable, then that's weakness. And if that's weakness, then the men are going to take our jobs and the men are going to take advantage of us. And this is not a dig against men. Men are the kings, we are the queens. That's just how it is. But like, when you are so afraid to be vulnerable with your own tribe in particular, like that's where it starts, right? We have to say, I'm feeling this way. Because if I can say to Nancy, or I can say to Anne, or I can say to Vanita, I'm feeling really upset right now, they're going to come to my rescue in their feminine energy. They are. That's how we're built. But if they have no idea that I feel this way, I'm sitting here swimming in a boat by myself, feeling like garbage and not having the help that I need, instead of saying, hey, I'm vulnerable right now. I'm feeling sad. Watch what women do. We don't tear each other down. The ones that tear each other down, they really need to be vulnerable and they really need the extra support. You know, women we're just not bred and we're not created to be catty and mean to each other. That's just not how it is. Those are women in their either toxic feminine or masculine. Thoughtfulness. This is a really big one. You know, I have clients, I've got clients in Canada and I've got clients in the US. And one of the things I do is I send them, and I'm not wearing it today, but I have something called a worthy wand. I will post a link to it on my website. It's a friend of mine, her company, and she creates these gorgeous pieces of jewelry. And it's very simple. It's just like a little necklace. And I send my clients that when they sign up with me. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but they are so grateful that I thought of them, and they are. I think everybody's worthy, but I really want my clients to know for sure, this is how I feel about you, and I see you. Like, forget about everybody else. I see you. I see what your mission is meant to be. I see you. So it's a tiny little gift that shows thoughtfulness. But when I'm in that mode, because I didn't always do this, but in that mode, in my feminine, I'm being thoughtful. And it's a huge, huge gift. Sensuality. This is something that's, tends to be a touchy subject for most women. But here's the reality. If you can't be sensual with yourself, no one's going to know how to be sensual with you. And truthfully, sensuality comes from you. It's not about them. It's about you. Are you taking beautiful goddess baths on a regular basis? Are you talking to yourself with love? And this is an area that I have a lot of trouble with, because my size is bigger than I want it to be. So I'm constantly having to rewire how I talk to myself. I'm 45. I just turned 45. and I have some hormonal imbalances that are helping me keep the weight on. And so for me, the sensuality piece is tricky. But when I shut my eyes and I put on some music and I light my candles and I have my diffuser going, my size doesn't matter anymore. I'm just feeling how glorious. My body made 4 children. My body moves me from point A to point B every minute of the day. My body's extraordinary. But if I can't feel that sensuality in it, the partner isn't going to either. Empathy. This is a big one. I am an empath, so I can feel energy very, very clearly and most creatives and most mission-driven entrepreneurs are definitely in this category of empath. If there's somebody on like a TV show, I was at an event actually last year, a Tony Robbins event. And I won't name who the celebrity was, but there was a celebrity on the stage and we were doing an exercise where we had to speak our visions, our mission statement loud and proud. And if you didn't believe it, then we couldn't give him a clap and he'd have to continue to do it until we believed it. We were there for an hour and a half. This poor guy couldn't do it. He was so nervous, but I could feel in my body deeply how nervous this man was. And I felt for him, but empathy, right? If somebody cuts you off in traffic, or somebody does something to you that is not, that pisses you off, right? Empathy is the thing that will stop you in your tracks and start to say, maybe there's something going on for this person. Maybe their mother is dying and they need to rush to the hospital to see them. I drove like an asshole when my mom was sick, right? I just wanted to get to the hospital to see my mom. Somebody could have beeped at me and gotten really upset, but it's empathy, right? Feeling empathetic for somebody, realizing that their model of the world is different than your model of the world, but that empathy really connects you with that person in your feminine. And then my absolute favorite is intuition. Shanu, somebody is unmuted. I don't know if you could check on that for me, love. So intuition, this is kind of what the head to heart method is based on, is intuitively knowing inside of your heart what you want to do in your business, for example, or your career, right? There's a lot of people in jobs they don't want to be in. Most people are in jobs they don't want to be in, truthfully, right? And so when we get into that, your intuition knows what you're here to do. You just have to listen to it. And when you're busy and you're masculine, excuse me, you're not hearing it. Like for me, my intuition was telling me I'm going to say the better part of 4 years to be a coach. And I just started coaching a year and a half ago because I was ignoring her. I was like, I'm not interested. It makes sense for me to do this business with my husband. It makes sense for me to do this. Coaching, no way. I'm not interested. No way, no how. But she got so loud that if I didn't listen, there were going to be consequences. And so I've listened. Any questions? No? Okay, I'll carry on. So how to dip into your feminine energy. It's important to acknowledge first that you are a divine feminine being, right? Like once you acknowledge that you're this beautiful, like glowing human that's not just here to do stuff, but here to be also. Once you acknowledge like, maybe I am doing too much, or maybe I do push too hard. Once you acknowledge that, that's acknowledging that you're divine feminine as well. Getting into your heart, doing all the things that we're going to talk about. When you realize, hang on here, let me just pull that. But when you realize that you're meant to be at your core, the feminine, that's the only time things can really shift. So like for me, it was really, because this is how I saw it in the beginning. I was like, I'm not a wuss. What are you talking about? I'm tough. I can do this. I can run 2 companies and I can be happy and I can do all the things. I don't need breaks, blah, 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 blah. So it wasn't until I really realized like to get in love with that inner core part of you, right? Like to get really still and cry and look at clouds and smile and just really appreciate all the little things. That to me is really the core of who I am. And if I hadn't accepted that, or I continued to fight it, I mean, I couldn't. Like the truth is I really couldn't fight it anymore. It was starting to make me sick. And I was enjoying nothing in my life, really, truthfully. So I kind of hit that rock bottom where I had to just get into it. Oops, the table's shaking. Get into the feminine divine. Acknowledge that you do not want to be in control or in your hunter mode at all times. That's masculine energy. That's a big one, right? Just saying, okay, because this is the thing. It's like eventually it's sort of like a tea kettle, right? If there wasn't a little hole at the top to let the steam out, that's you when you're in hunter mode all the time. It's this bubbling up of energy that feels really good and you can get things done and but at some point it's going to explode. And when it does, things like your physical health can come into play. That's why my hormones were so out of balance, because I wasn't honoring the feminine. I wasn't slowing down when I needed to. I would push through parts of my cycle. That's another big thing that I talk about in my programs is your menstrual cycle. Men have a 24-hour hormone cycle. Women have a 28-day hormone cycle. Like just on that alone, you can see how the world is set up to be for the guys. They don't take into consideration that 1 week out of the month, I feel like garbage and I want to lay in bed and I want to do quiet things for my business. Another week, I'm like this, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I'm on fire. I'm full of energy. But if you're always in hunter mode and you're not honoring those parts of your cycle in particular, you're going to burn out and it's not going to be pretty. I mean, some women get cancer, some women get autoimmune diseases. That's what happened with me. It's just learning how to slow down, but also acknowledging that I don't want to be in charge all the time. I don't want to be in control all the time. Understand that being in your feminine energy is different than being a feminist. They have nothing to do with, and I put this in here because I've heard a lot of feminists, obviously the US politics anyway, for the last year or two have been quite heated. And there's a lot of feminists are talking and saying things and expressing themselves, but feminists are actually very much in their masculine. So that's interesting because a lot of women will say, well, I'm a feminist. And I'm like, okay. And I'll talk to them for 2 minutes and I'm shaking and my adrenaline's pumping because they're very intimidating. That's masculine energy and not in a good way. So the two have nothing to do with each other. And lastly, being in your feminine is the epitome of strength. Yes, I promise it is. It feels scary in the beginning because it's very, you're not used to it, but it definitely is. I feel stronger and more powerful in my companies and in my work with my coaching than I ever have. Because what I do is now I close my eyes and let God, universe, spirit, infinite intelligence guide me. But I would never have even been open to that in my masculine because I'm too busy getting it done. I'm not slowing down enough. Okay. Everybody still good? Everyone's still with me? Thumbs up. Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good. Okay. Oops. Let me move that over. Okay. Come on, Keynote. All right. So simple ways to get into your feminine energy, to dip into it. So these are the thing that I find so interesting is that these are things that most people know, right? We know, but we don't do them. So journaling is one of the most incredible practices. And I encourage you to journal a little bit differently than you might be used to. So journaling as though it's happening now and in the past. So when I journal, I'm not writing, I can't wait until I write as though it happened. And this is a huge distinction because what happens in this distinction is that you're acknowledging and you're feeling the feelings of it now. You're not feeling the feelings of it in the future. You're feeling the feelings of it now. So journaling is, for me, it's like I'm buying a home in Florida this year, at the end of the year, hopefully for the following winter. So I don't have to be in Toronto for the whole winter again. And I write things like, I just came back in from a paddleboard session. It was so beautiful on the water. So I'm not writing it, I can't wait until I go to Florida to have a paddleboard session. I write it as though it already happened. Dancing's a huge one. And I dance alone all the time. Like I don't dance with a partner, especially in COVID, right? Where are we dancing? Nowhere, at home. Dance, move your body. That song that I played you in the top of the talk, that type of no words, just move your body, no words, whatever you want, whatever makes you just able to close your eyes and just, and if you don't dance and that's a challenge for you, just sway, That's it. Just sway your body. Close your eyes, put your headset on and sway. That will connect you with your feminine energy like that. Cooking. Women, at least in North America, many of them have lost the art of cooking because we have so many options on how to get around that. But cooking is one of the most beautiful ways to get into your feminine energy. What are the things of the 7 words? What are you really playing into? You're playing into nurturing. You're getting to be thoughtful, right? You're getting to use your intuition on what type of food to put together. Cooking really is, and for a group of creative women, this is perfect, right? It really, really hones in on that creativity. When I'm cooking, I'm in my zone. I play some old French music. I don't know the words. I just like the sound of it. And that's what I do. And I cook. Date nights with yourself. So whether you're single, married, whatever your situation is, date nights with yourself is critical. And what a date night might look like in normal circumstances for me, I would go out. I would get ready just like this, and I would go out and have dinner by myself. And in the beginning, a couple of times people, oh, are you waiting for somebody? Nope, I'm taking myself out on a date. Beautiful. And they would seat me and I would have a glorious night. And P.S., they take really good care of you when you're sitting alone, just so you know. And then finally, another simple way to open up the feminine is through visualization. This is another really favorite. I have a huge vision board in my room, and like literally it's like 4x4. It lights up. It's incredible. So visualization is so powerful because, I mean, for obvious reasons, but if you're spending 15, 20 minutes, if you have on the weekend, like I like to do, there's a whole bunch of other ways that I can, and like feminine energy hacks, if you will, but this one's a powerful one. Just picture yourself comfortable in your body. Again, just thinking of things that really bring you peace and bring you happiness, right? Visualization of anything. Like if you want a new vehicle, start thinking about it. Picture yourself driving in it. All of those things, any type of visualization that you can do on a regular basis, like it literally should be part of your every single morning routine. This journaling, dancing in the morning if you can, but for sure visualization is a very, very powerful exercise. Okay, everybody still with me? Okay, so we're going to do a quick little exercise. I'm going to play some music and you're going to answer these 3 questions here. I'm just going to take myself off share and see where we're at. Okay. So I encourage you to really, let's find a, pausing the share. I'm just going to pause my share for 1 second here, guys. So really what I want you to do is like, be very, very honest about kind of where you're at. So I don't want you to write down answers that you think you need to put down. I want you to write down answers that are true for you. So here are the 3 questions. What are the 3 ways that you can now see that you've been unbalanced in the masculine and the feminine energy? So if you can think of 3 ways, like, oh, maybe I kind of snap at my kids a bit too much, or maybe I get short with somebody at work. Those are kind of ways that you can see, I'm probably a bit off balance. Number 2 is, can you see some ways that it's affected your business or your career, right? So are there ways where you've done this, where you're like, oh, I think this may be kind of like, I've probably fired people in my past that I should not have fired when I'm in that mode. Like truly. Or even, I have writers on the content company side, and there's some writers that I maybe would have addressed in a different way had I been in my feminine energy. So think of ways that maybe is true for you. And then number 3 is, can you see some ways that this has affected your relationship? Right? So I don't believe that there is business Cara and relationship Cara. I'm one person. Let's treat me holistically, right? If I'm happier as a human, I'm going to do better in my relationship. If I'm happier as a human, I'm going to do better in my business. If I'm happier as a human, I'm going to be a better parent. There's not separate categories. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to play some music. Let me just make sure, see who's with me here. Okay. I still have a bunch of black screens, you guys. Okay. Thank you, Sanaya, for showing up, girlfriend. Okay. So I guess if you can all give me a clap or a high five or something virtually in the reactions that I know you're with me. that would be helpful. I'll wait a second. Okay, so does everybody have a pen and paper handy?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to, yep, I will definitely do that, Nancy. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Okay. Nancy, or Shanu, is the sound okay?
Yeah, the sound is okay.
Perfect.
Also, let me know when you want me to create the breakout rooms if you want me to.
It'll be shortly after.
Sure.
Okay, can everyone see the screen okay as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Off you guys go. Go ahead and answer these 3 questions. And then we're going to do a little breakout session and off we go. Okay, you got about a minute left. Okay, welcome back, everybody. How was that? We have some goodness written down. I can't wait. Okay, so we're going to go into some breakout rooms. And Shanu, I know you're in control of the situation.
Yeah, I just create the breakout rooms.
Perfect. So what I'd like you to do is each have 2 minutes when you go into the breakout room, and just, so I'm not sure how many, there'll be like probably 2 or 3 groups. So just give yourselves a couple minutes each. I'll give you a total of 6-7 minutes. And then you can go in, share with each other. And then when we come back, I would love for a brave soul. I feel like I know who's going to share when we come back. So we'll share when we come back. And then if you have questions at the end, that's kind of where we'll end things. And then I'll give you a little fun exercise to do for yourselves at home that you can share with me in the future if you choose to. But for right now, let's go into our breakout rooms. You've got 6 minutes, 2 minutes each, and share what came up for you in those 3 questions. So
Cara,
take it away, Shanu.
last question, please. Can you share the last question?
Oh, yes.
You can just, yeah, you can just narrate.
So can you find some ways that it's affected your relationship? So business and relationship.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Sure. So I'm opening up the room. So I'm breaking all of you into rooms.
What happened? We are here.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody. How was that?
Good.
Good.
Amazing. Can I get a thumbs up if everybody had a good share? Awesome. Okay, brave ladies, who's going to be the first up to share what they came out with from this exercise? Just throw a hand up if you're open to sharing. And if I don't see a hand up, I'm calling on somebody. Because here's the reality, ladies. Being vulnerable together helps each other. Like that's the bottom line. If nobody's willing to share their experience or the stuff that just came up for them, then none of us are winning. None of us are going to know how to move. So, Incy.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. Hi. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
It's Inji actually.
Inji. Okay.
Yeah. Actually.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Yeah. Actually, we have the same problems. I think it doesn't matter where we are in the world. As a female, especially we talked about the circumstances because as if you're in the masculine energy, we are trying to push a little bit hard. We are trying to say the final word, and yeah, that's a little bit putting us in stress and anxiety. And at the end, I mean, when I was in at that stage, I was feeling disturbed even from myself. So when you're so predominant like that, and yeah, I had the times when I felt like I'm going too far during the meetings, and at the end, it affected my career. I decided to change, and I decided to live abroad. So that was a change for me. And yeah, in terms of relationships, we said even in that, even in relationships, we are still trying to be a little bit dominant, or we can just express the feelings. I myself personally, I cannot put a name to my feelings. Most of the time I'm just saying something is disturbing me, but I don't know
Right.
what feeling it is. So yeah, this was the take up.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So to that, I want to just make a couple comments. Like definitely, there's a place, you know, in the boardroom where we are told we're bitches or we're bossy or we're this and we're that. And that tends to be when we are in our masculine. And so men just, no matter where they are, whether they're our husbands, whether they are our bosses or partners or whatever, they just want to be the hero. Like that is the truth of the matter. And so what women do, and this is a bit into the relationship side, is that we make it super impossible for them to be our hero. Like if you tell a guy enough times, I don't need you, what's going to happen? They're going to go. They're going to either start playing games all the time. They're going to stay at work all the time. They might even have an affair because somebody, and I'm not condoning it, but somebody out there might need them and make them the hero. And that's one of their needs. Just like it's our needs, we want to be cherished. Women want to be cherished. When we're in our feminine, we are happy to let him change the light bulb. I don't care. I can change a tire. I can do all the things. I don't want to do all the things. I'm busy. I'm building empires here. I don't want to do all the things. But if we allow him to be the hero, when these little wins for them, that's all a man wants from us, is to be the hero. And we make it very, very, and even if you're in a same-sex relationship, if you're two women, there's one more masculine and there's one more feminine. If you let her be the hero, same thing, right? But we're fighting constantly because we have to show how tough we are and how accomplished we are and how all this stuff we are. Like, ladies, you can just chill and let him do the stuff. We don't have to do it all. Let your role in, especially in an intimate relationship, is to like receive, right? We have the emotions, they don't. Just be there, slow down and be there, but let him be the hero. That's the, if you came out with nothing out of this talk today, I know it's not super business related, but it is, because again, you're still one person, you're not two separate people. Let him be the hero, and teach your sons that it's good to be the hero. Right? These women who do everything for their kids, for their boys. You're raising men who will not understand how to be a hero to a woman. You're raising feminine energy men who are going to go out into the world and they're going to be attracted to masculine energy women. And there's not going to be any polarity, and you're going to have a problem. If there's no polarity in a relationship, you're friends. You need to have polarity and attraction and chemistry between each other, or there's no relationship. You're roommates. That's the truth. There's no other way around that one. And it starts with you. It starts with you learning how to dip into the feminine energy. So that is it for me, you guys. I do have a little homework for you if you're interested. And I would love to, let me just share my screen again here so you can see it.
Cara, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I just want to
That's
quickly ask a question. I think I'm
Mhm.
home now, so I can turn it on. So you
Oh,
can
beautiful.
see. Now, hi, I'd
Yay.
like to ask you a
Hi.
question. Hi, I'm Cindy here from London. I am so intrigued by your slides, especially when you mentioned about those feminine energy, those points. I actually have the total opposite problem. But
Okay.
I actually apply those 7 out of 7. I think 6 of them I'm pretty good. Being empathic,
7.
empathic, yeah. And then you're nurturing, thoughtful, and trying to understand everything. I do that, leading a team.
Yep.
But the thing is, people turn around and take advantage of that, knowing that you are
Okay.
very empathetic, knowing that you understand them, knowing that you are very patient, but you're not getting anywhere with it. Because especially
Right.
I'm talking about the women, you're right, the women help each other. When I say, hey, listen, I need this is done, they should give it to you straight away. But
Right.
I have a big problem where there's just that the men, they just don't give it in. They don't,
Right.
they just really, they don't care. They say, okay,
Yeah.
anyway, you're understanding, so why do I care? So how do you do
Right.
that? How do you actually tackle
So
that?
what do you, thank you for that question. And ladies, if there's questions, please, this is the time to ask for sure. So Cindy, what do you do for work? Do you own your business or do you work for somebody?
Yeah, well, I actually lead a club, a NGO club.
Okay.
A NGO club. I lead a club.
So
being a chair.
Okay, so what's your daily activity look like at your job?
So it's more like organizing events and liaising with some organizations and local event organizers, all that.
Okay,
but it's
So,
non-profit.
and
It's non-profit.
okay, so my advice to you would be comfortably putting on your masculine hat back on. So it's usually the opposite problem. But a couple things come up for me when you say that. If you're confident in giving somebody, and hopefully everybody has no kids around, I'm going to use a couple of bad words here because it's the best way to describe it. And you're in England, so I feel like you're okay with that. No. So it's like when you start to get comfortable giving people shit is really where you need to get to. Right. And it's a confidence thing, because when we don't step into the masculine, sometimes what we're thinking is they're going to leave us. They're going to get upset. They're going to quit. We have to get in trouble. I am going to get in trouble. So it's a confidence thing. If you're able to give somebody direction, like I can give somebody direction still in my heart, but I can be direct, and I'm not worrying about whether they're going to be upset by that because I'm still in my heart about it. The thing I'm giving to them is important for the organization, or it's important for the event, or it's important for the whatever the thing is. But if you're solid in your heart and you know it's coming from your heart and the person isn't doing what you need them to do, you can gently still give them shit. But it's a confidence thing, right? So give me an example.
I like
quickly.
that. Thank you. Thank you.
Give me an
I
example.
try to give them shit. It doesn't really help, but that's a good one.
So you get physical. When you're doing it, you're standing up and, like the Superman pose, right? We call it the Wonder Woman pose now, by the way, ladies. But just do that for a couple of seconds before you have to do whatever it is you need to do. Close your eyes, get in your heart, and understand that what you're about to deliver is necessary for the organization. It's necessary for the event, because you're still in your head. Right? Because you're assessing, what is he going to say? What's he going to do? All that stuff. If you're in your heart, like in my heart, I know I have to give this person this direction. He may not like it, but then that's another conversation. Right? And if they're not listening, then you have to get, again, like everything, ladies, goes from the head to the heart. You go into your heart to figure out the thing, and you go into your head to do the thing. Right? Being in your feminine, and yes, Nancy, it's a balance. Like being in your feminine doesn't mean we let people walk all over. It means we're stronger, truthfully. And we're not fearful of the outcome. Like if you say it and it lands the way you want it to land on that person in your heart, there'll be movement. Is that helpful to you?
I think so. And also when you just mentioned about that, let them be the hero. I really think that's probably the key. Except though, how do you actually let them know that you want them to be hero? But then again, you are actually
it's a bit of a manipulation. No,
yeah.
It's a little manipulation. Let's be serious, okay? So,
but listen,
let's say
I've got a question. Sorry.
Yes, but it's the truth is, so let's call give me a name of the person that you might have trouble with, just so I can call him something.
Really?
Let's call
Is
him.
that okay? I'm so sorry though.
No, this is important. This is important for everybody to see. So let's call him Bill, okay? And let's say you need him. Let's say you need Bill to go and coordinate a hotel rental, for argument's sake. Bill, you know what? I'm overwhelmed at this point, and I would absolutely love it if you could just give me a hand with this. It's so important. And honestly, I don't trust anybody else to handle this. I know you can. Could you please call the hotel and just book those rooms for me? It would mean so much to me. I would so appreciate that. Okay. He's going to be like, yes, you bet your butt I can do that. But if you're like, I need you to go and do this and this and this, he's like, pfft. But if you position it like he's taking the load off of your chest and you're giving him some authority to go do the thing, just be conscious of, how am I asking these people to do the thing? A woman will come to your rescue like no problem, but a man, they're not, they're not thinking like a woman. They're not hairy women. They're very different. Could you just go and book that hotel for me? Because honestly, that would take all the pressure off me right now. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Right? And watch him be your hero. but practice. It's not a one-hit wonder, my love. It's
No.
practice. Yes.
I will. Thank you, Cara.
Does that
Thank
feel
you.
complete for you?
That's much better.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
I might have actually, Cara. So, as we
Hi.
discussed that, my big problem is in just trying to be perfect on everything. I feel actually overwhelmed, after I do the things, and then when I don't get any appreciation. So I don't know why I feel like that, but I feel like everybody is expecting me to do everything perfect. So for example, if I don't make the things perfect, and then I feel like I actually let everybody down. So I don't know why I'm feeling, but I feel like this is a confidence thing, because I'm thinking the others before myself, when I do the things. Do you have any suggestion how I can get rid of this feeling?
So, well, my first suggestion was hire a coach to work with you on
Okay.
this, because I can help you right now, and I'm happy to help you offline, but this is a bigger answer, but you would do well with having a coach for sure. So what I would say really quickly though is that it's when we have a judgment about somebody else, so you said you think they're going to be upset because you haven't met their expectations. Really what that is you're the one who's judging. So anytime I feel something negative about somebody, I put up my mirror and I start to say, okay, so if Özlem is not very giving with her words. She's not very generous. So I might be like, you're not very generous. You're not a very good friend, right? Then I put the mirror up and I say, Cara is not really a good friend. Where am I not being a good friend? So whenever we're judging others, it's because we have a judgment ourselves. And that's really hard to face. So if you're feeling like they're going to be disappointed because you haven't met their expectations, that might mean that you're disappointed because they haven't met your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those, holy cow. When you're doing